Okay, this video is going to review solving for x, or solving for a variable, solving your equations. Okay, this started around 7th grade, around 11, 12 years old. So we're going to go ahead and review. At the end of this, the notes, I am going to then bring up the assignment that we have given the students, because there's one other thing that I want to talk about. First thing we're going to do is combine our like terms. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're understanding what this means. Apples with apples, oranges with oranges. If I ask you for 5 apples, don't bring me 3 apples and 2 oranges. Can't combine those together. So your variables with your coefficient are going to be, I just call those apples, and then your constants are going to be the oranges. So here we need to go through and look at what do we have as our variables. I have a 4x. I have a minus 2x. Look how I'm circling that minus with it, okay? Because whenever we take it out of the equation, look at it as a term, it's a negative 2x. And then we have a plus 9x. We combine all these together, we're going to wind up with 11x's, because we have a 4 minus 2, giving us 2, plus 9, 11. Now let's look at our constants. We have a plus 10 minus 1, okay? And then we're going to subtract 15 more. This will wind up being a negative 6, so we have 11x minus 6. The next one's go ahead and take a look. We have negative 2x plus 4x, and those are all my apples. And this combines to give us a positive 2x. Then I'm going to take my positive 1, negative 9, positive 7. We combine all these together, we get a negative 1. Okay? So being a 2x minus 1. All right, so we're going to start off with just these 2 steps. I draw, whenever, especially teaching, I draw this line so that I can see my left and my right side separately. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. In this situation, we have negative 2x plus 1 equals 7. We need to get everything away from x, so we need to undo that plus 1. And we do that by subtracting 1. And again, what we do to one side, we do to the other. That cancels this out. All that's left on this side is that negative 2x. Bring down your equal and solve the math over here. 7 minus 1 is 6. Last, we have negative 2, that's a times x, equals 6. So we have to undo the times 6, the times negative 2 by undoing it the opposite. What's the opposite of multiplying? Dividing. So we're going to divide both sides by that coefficient, the negative 2. The negative 2 is now gone. Do not divide by negative 2x. That's not what we're doing. We're dividing just by the 2. And look how I only put the division bar underneath the negative 2, because I don't want to think that x goes away. Your x is still there. Bring down the equal sign. Then we have 6 divided by a negative 2 is going to end up with a negative 3. Okay, next, we have 3x minus 1 equals 11. Get rid of that minus 1 first. How do we do that? The opposite. Add 1 to both sides. Adding 1 over here cancels it out, zeroes it out. We bring down our 3x. Then we have 11 plus 1 is going to give us 12. A lot of times this last step is dividing, but not always. Here we have 3x equals 12. Get rid of the 3. This is multiplying. We need to do the opposite, dividing. What we do to one, we do to the other. X is going to equal 4. Now we're going to wind up with x on both sides. This next problem, the first thing we need to see when we draw this line down the equal sign, look on the left, look on the right. The first thing we look at is distribution. We don't have any. The next thing, we need to combine our like terms. It is best to get that done next. And here I do see that I have a minus 1 and plus 9. So there's nothing to combine with that 4x. There's only one apple. We got 2 different things of oranges here. So we're just going to bring the 4x down and solve. Okay, negative 1 plus 9. We're going to wind up with plus 8. And on the right-hand side, there's nothing to do. We've got apples and oranges. Cannot combine them, just bring them straight down. The next step, we need to move our variables. I suggest moving the variables first. And I suggest moving the variables with the smaller coefficient. So we have 4 and we have 9 for 4x and 9x. Move that smaller one. How do you do it? The same way if it was just a 4. You're going to subtract it. And so what we do to one, make sure you have that x, ladies and gentlemen. This, when we're adding and subtracting, we have to put the x there because we take the x with us. And then over here, we can't subtract it from 22. we have to subtract it. Again, it's kind of like the apples and oranges. We got to keep those x's together. The 4x is now gone. Bring down that 8. 9 x's, we take 4 away. We have 5 x's left. And then nothing's happened with the minus 22 yet. Bring it down. One little step at a time. Now we're at where we were in the previous two problems. We have the 8 equals 5x minus 22. We need to get rid of that minus 22. How do we do it? We add 22. We're going to bring that 5x down, bring down our equal sign, and 8 plus 22 is going to give us 30. Last step as I run out of room, divide both sides by that coefficient at 5. And we're going to wind up with x equals 6. All right. Okay, look on the left, look on the right. There aren't any like terms to combine, so we're good to go. I'm moving the variable. 4x and 2x. 2x is the smaller one. I'm going to move that. Zero it out by subtracting. And then we have only 2 x's left on the left. Bring down your minus 14, all equal to 7. 2 steps left. Minus 14, get rid of it. Add 14. Bring down your 2x. It's going to equal 21. All right, write down this a couple times now. 2x, get rid of the 2 by dividing. Again, that division bar only under the 2. Do not write x. We're not getting rid of the x. We're bringing the x down. And 21 divided by 2, we will have a decimal. The odd divided by an even. It's going to wind up being 10.5. All right, last one before moving further. All right, we got variables on both sides. Let's move that smaller dude. Right here, zero it out by subtracting it. We now have 5 x's left. Bring down your minus 51. Bring down your negative 6. Okay, please be careful with that, guys. Okay, when you get rid of this 3x, look, my pen's there now. What's there? Negative 6. You need to bring down that negative. That's a big mistake that's made. Okay, please be careful. Now we need to get rid of this minus 51. How do we do it? Add. Always do the opposite. Bring down 5x. We have negative 6. Again, careful, we got our negatives. Negative 6 plus 51. We get 45. All right. Divide both sides by that coefficient of 5. X will equal 9. All right, distribution. Let's talk about distribution, shall we? Distribution is the first thing you need to do when solving for a variable. When solving these equations, that is the very first thing to do. Distribution, we need to remember, is saying the number on the outside needs to be multiplied to every term on the inside of those parentheses. So, and please do this one step at a time. Start with just 2 times 4x. Focus on that first. 2 times 4 is 8, so we wind up with 8x. Now go back and do 2 times a, careful, it is a positive, or plus 5, positive 5, letting us know we do need to bring a plus 10 down. 68, bring it down. Now we have 2 steps, okay? We just did a couple, we did a lot of these. Let's get rid of that 10 first. We bring down that 8x. 68 minus 10, we're going to get 58. Divide by the coefficient. Fraction bar under the 8. Do not write x because we need to bring that x down. This will come out to 7.25, 7 25/100. All right, so now we're going to have not only distribution, but variables on both sides. We're kind of knocking it up a notch here. 3, focus on 3 times x. Well, what's 3 times x? Stick them together. 3 times the invisible 1 in front of the x. We're going to end up with 3x. Now we go back and say 3 times, look at that, negative 7. Positive 3 times negative 7 is a negative 21, making it minus 21. Bring down your x plus 13. Nothing to do on that side. All right, Constants and variables on both sides. Let's move the variables first. How do I get rid of this x? Subtract it. Only subtracting 1. Make sure you're bringing this x over here. 3 x's, you take 1 away, you have 2 left. Don't forget to write the x next to the 2 also. X is still there. Bring down your minus 21. Over on the right, it was a plus 13, so we just bring down our positive 13. There are your 2 steps. Add 21 to each side to cancel that out. It's at negative 21. We need to get to 0. Zero it out by adding. Okay, 2x is still over here on the left. Bring them down. We take our 13 plus our 21, and we're going to wind up with 34. Last step, divide both sides by that coefficient. X is 17. All right, 4 more to go, guys. Got some more combining like terms because we've had some struggles with this, all right? Let's look over here on the left. I've got a 2x. Let me do. And yep, here's another x plus 3x, and those are all the x's. Combine those to get 5x. Now we take a look at the constants. I have a plus 7 or positive 7, and I have a negative or minus 2. Making sure we have those pluses and minuses in the box or circled. And so all that is 7 minus 2. We get a positive 5. Nothing to do on the right but bring 90 down. Hey guys, we got 2 steps. Solve it. You've got this. Pause it and solve it. Cancel out that 5. Subtracting. 5x is still there. Bring it down. Subtract the 5 from 90 to get 85. Now get rid of that coefficient. We're going to divide both sides by 5. Okay, again, not 5x. 5. That is it. That last step, you're keeping x there. Don't write x anywhere else here. Okay, cancel that out. Bring x down and divide 85 by 5. We get 17. Right, step by step. Here, I've got an 11x. Keep going. Oh, plus 5x. Those are all the x's. I'm at that equal sign, just focusing on the side. 11x plus 5x is going to get me 16x. Here, I have a minus 15 and a minus 13. So look at it as a negative 15 and a negative 13. Okay, these are going to combine together to get you a negative 28. The right-hand side is nothing to do but bring 180 down. Now we have our 2 steps. Zero out the minus 28 by adding 28. 16x is still there. Bring it down. 180 plus 28 is 208. And there you go. Last step. Divide both sides by the 16, that coefficient. Again, just writing 16, not 16x. That x stays, brings it down. We have 208 divided by 16 is going to give you 13. Almost there, guys. 2 more. All right, long one here. All right, I see like terms to combine. Here I have a 4x. Any more x's? Yep, here's a 2x. We're going to combine these to get 6x. Constants, I have a positive 10 and negative 1, or 10 minus 1. We're going to get a positive 9. On the right, there's nothing to combine, no distribution. Just bring it straight down to prepare for the next step. Now I'm seeing variables on both sides. So let's move the variable with the smaller coefficient. Let's zero out the 6x. Okay, it's gone on the left. All that's left over is 9. Bring it down. We have 9 x's. We took 6 away. We wind up with 3 x's. Don't forget about your minus 15. Bring that guy down. 2 steps left. Get rid of that minus 15 over here with the x by adding 15. All right, the 15's gone. 3x is still here. Bring it down. 9 plus 15, just solving our math here, is 24. Last step, divide by that coefficient. 3 is gone. All we have is x on the right, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. Ooh, almost there. All right, let's look at our terms. 8x, 4x, both positives, so add them together to get 12x. I have a negative 5 minus 19 more. So we're going further into the negatives. Wind up with negative 24. Put it down as minus 24. 180, he's just chilling, waiting. Bring him down. Now we can start working with the 180. We need to get rid of the minus 24, zeroing it out, doing the opposite by adding 24. All that's on the left is 12x, bring it down. 180 plus 24 will give you 204. And you got it, you know what to do last. Divide by that coefficient. We have a lot of x equals 17s on this page. We have another x equals 17. The assignment that we're giving out, I want to make sure that I go over because the evaluate the algebraic expressions is not on the notes. These are not equations. We're just taking these algebraic expressions, the 2x minus 5 in this case, and we want to, in algebra it's called evaluate, and when we start going a little bit further in, I start saying substitute, or a lot of students know it as plug it in. But the substitution property is what we're going to be looking at in the next set of notes. Please also notice it says complete front and back. Like our other assignment, unlike our other assignments, this one you do need to complete the back. So what we're going to do here with this key is we need to see here that we have x equals 3. Well, right now we have BC equals 2x minus 5. The only reason we have x there is because we did not know what it was. Now that we know what it is, we need to get rid of x and we need to plug 3 in. So what this looks like, this is the way I like to show it, if we have 2x minus 5, watch what happens. We're literally going to remove x and we're going to plug in what x is, that 3. And so now all we have to do is solve through this, and we're going to find out that BC is going to end up being 1. All right? And I'm going to do one more, and you guys can do the other two on your own. So this one involves y, okay? No big deal. Keep in mind that C, you're going to have to substitute in 2 different places, okay? Just kind of an FYI there. Here, we've got the 16y, so I'm going to take out y. And I'm going to substitute in what y is. Oh, it's 3 also. And we do 16 times 3 plus 10. We find that the measure of angle AED is equal to 58 degrees. There are a lot of videos out there, a lot of really good videos out there of solving for x. Please go check it out. This is something you have to do. You're going to do it all year in geometry, all year in algebraic reasoning and or algebra 2, and continuing through. Please make sure you've got this stuff down and you know exactly how to solve for your equations.